من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين والغر الميامين ولعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى يوم الدين ما بعد. فقد قال أمير المؤمنين الجلسة في المسجد والجامع أحب إلي من الجلسة في الجنة. صدق مولانا أمير المؤمنين عليه الصلاة والسلام. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters, inshallah. It's always good to see you all again. Alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed us with another Friday. Allah has blessed us with another day. Alhamdulillah. I can walk, I can smile, I can do so many things. Alhamdulillah. Praise to Allah Almighty for all the blessings that He has given us, for all the things that He has bestowed upon us. And inshallah we'll continue with this. A very important topic that was coming into my mind, and a topic that I really wanted to discuss, is that generally you would see that not a lot of youth are coming to the different masajid, not a lot of people are coming to the mosque. And I was going through a peer research, right? So a research institute that basically carried out research regarding the participants when you would compare different denominations of Islam. So you have Shiism, you have Sunniism, you have Ismailism, you have different isms within Islam. And you would be surprised to know that if you would compare an average Sunni and if you would compare an average Shi'i, an average Sunni, according to peer research, 70% of Sunnis, they call themselves as religious in Western countries, in USA and Canada that we're talking about, versus only 52% of the Shia Muslims that proudly say themselves as religious. You know, alhamdulillah, we generally would go to mosque, we go to masajid, we go to Husainiyah, we go to different places of worship, and we feel as if, mashallah, a large number of people are coming in. Even though there are a large number of people coming in, but we're still missing out a huge chunk. And I'm just quoting you the figures, and of course, those were the samples. The actual population, the actual result might be a little bit different, but it would not be very far away from the research that was done. Secondly, that the Shias in general are less likely to go into a mosque compared to a Sunni weekly. Right? And I can attest to you because I have just been from Hajj, and I can tell you that as soon as the time of Salatul Dhuhr would come in, time of Salatul Fajr would come in, time of Salatul Asr would come in, Maghrib and Isha, we would see people rushing towards a masjid. Rushing towards, and now you would have disagreement with them the way they would have their Jama'ah, the way they would have their congregation and everything, fiqhan. But you need to understand that the jazba that they have, the intention and the zeal that they have towards going into the mosque and masjid is far bigger than the follower of Al-Muhammad living in these Western countries. I think it should be a point of concern that why do we have so less number of youth and so less number of people coming into mosque and masajid and different areas. You know, I was talking to the program director of JCC, and he told me that only on day of Ashura, there were more than 7,000 people that came to JCC. 7,000 people. 7,000 followers of Al-Muhammad, they only came to JCC. Now you go to different other mosques, different other masajid, all of them were packed on the day of Ashura. Where are those numbers on the regular day? Where are those numbers on the wiladat and shahadat of different imams? Where are those numbers on Thursday nights? Where are those numbers on Fridays? Where are those numbers on other occasions? You will not find them. And this is the point of concern that we all need to focus upon. We really need to focus upon that where we are all leading as a community. Have we contributed enough? Have we made our mosque and Husaini and the masajid enticing enough that our youth would want to come to those mosques? It's a question that we need to have. We need to rethink about it. And that's why one or two points that I wanted to mention is that firstly we need to clear ourselves fiqhan. Fiqhan means jurisprudential weight. that children would only follow whatever their parents would do, not what they would say. And you would have seen it so many times. If the parents won't go to masjid, the chances of children going to masjid are very less. You cannot expect them to be religious if you're not religious. You cannot expect them to follow good etiquette if you don't have good etiquettes. You don't expect them to go to Masjid al-Husayniyah when you don't go yourself. Oh, I have a job to go. Oh, I have this grocery. I have this list. I have to go to bank. I have to do this. I have to do that. You have to do everything in the world when the time of salah would come in, when the time to go to the masjid would come in. So you don't expect your own children in your family to go. And right after 20 years, the same people are coming to Maulana. Maulana, my children are not going to masjid. What should I do? What should be my solution? Of course, we can probably tell them something about it, how important it is for you to be connected to your community, to come to masjid and whatever. But the damage has already been done. It cannot be reversed back. And this is the thing that we need to understand. Firstly, we as a people, we are role models for our subordinates. We are role models for our smaller brothers, for our children, for everyone. And the first thing we need to do before we call out the people is that we do it by our own actions. How many Thursday nights have you been to masjid? How many Wilada and Shahada? Now don't count the Muharram, the first 10 or 12 days of Muharram, those are exceptional days. But in general, how many days we actually go? Sometimes I know we are busy, sometimes I know we do have commitments, but how many times we actually have taught and we said, no, today we can go and we should take our own family. I think that's one point that I wanted to focus upon. The second point, unfortunately, is our masjid that used to be place of not only worshipping Allah Almighty. It used to be place of social gathering. Whenever Prophet used to deliver a very important message, he would make sure that he would call all the people where? To Masjid al-Nabawi. Now Masjid Nabawi, as you see today, is very big. It's very gigantic. It's very big. It's very huge. But in old time, it used to be not too big. A very small portion of it. But even then, people would assemble in masjid. They barely would have space to sit. But Prophet would make sure that he would call them all the way to masjid. Masjid used to be the media center. Masjid used to be the place where Prophet would deliver the important messages. Masjid used to be a place where Prophet would discuss the matters concerning wars. Masjid used to be a place where people would have different congress and different assemblies where they would discuss things. And how would you define a masjid today? You just come in, do majlis, take tabarruk and chai, ya Allah. All done. I think difference of approach. And the third thing that you need to understand is masjid is a place where you would have a very spiritual connection. Now, this was more towards the collective responsibility, the other 2 points. The third point is more towards an individual responsibility. Praying in masjid itself has its own spiritual benefits. You are offering 2 ibadat, you are offering 2 acts of worship when you're in masjid. One is praying itself, and second is to be part and being there in the physical vicinity of the masjid. That's why you see Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib saying, Al-jilsatu fil jami' khayrun min al-jilsati fil jannati. That I being in masjid is more beloved to me than residing and being a dweller in the gardens of paradise. Oh Amir al-Mu'minin, Ya Ali, you want to be in masjid, you don't want to be in Jannah? Mullah replied, Mullah said, فَإِنَّ فِي الْجَنَّةِ رِضَاءُ نَفْسِي وَإِنَّ فِي الْجَامِعِ وَالْمَسْجِدِ رِضَاءُ رَبِّي. Because if I would be in Jannah, I would be pleasing my own self. But if I would be in masjid, I would be pleasing my Lord and my Creator. Difference of approach. This was Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ali ibadah was never because he was enticed towards Jannah. He's the distributor of hell and paradise. Someone who is going to delegate people duly what they deserve. But you see the way Ali ibn Abi Talib wants you to understand the importance of masjid. This is a place where you would have that deep connection with Allah Almighty. And if you want to, have that connection, inshallah, maybe once in a month. Let's make a realistic goal. Once in a month is doable. MashaAllah, we have so many programs. Tuesday night, the Du'a Tawassul. Thursday night, there's a regular program. Fridays, you have masajid. Saturday and Sunday, they have Fajr programs. You have tremendous amount of programs going in masajid. At least you can take one day. That's it. Start with one day. Then you probably might come twice a month. Maybe then 4 times in a month. Very doable. Small targets that are achievable, inshallah. We ask Allah Almighty to make us one of those. The way Ali ibn Abi Talib has defined. The people that are actually the one that are responsible for maintaining and preserving the sanctity of masjid. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وآله الطاهرين ما بعد. Alhamdulillah, you are just going through those days where so many things have happened. The month of Dhul Hajj is a month where first 10 days are very valuable, and we have spent those 10 days. The next 10 days involves the Ghadir, it involves some other events too. By the way, the 18th of the 19th, one of these dates is the date in which our scholars have mentioned that Ali ibn Abi Talib and Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam, we have different dates. One day is the day of nikah, and the second day is when Fatima al-Zahra actually came into the house of Ali ibn Abi Talib. So one date that is being given is 19th of Dhul Hajj, right? So it's a very important date. And then you have 22nd of Dhul Hajj. That's going to be tomorrow. That's why you see me in the black attire, right? The reason being is that 22nd is a day which is a day of sorrow for the followers of Al Muhammad. It's a day that resembles the martyrdom anniversary of 2 sons of Muslim ibn Aqil. Even as if you go today, you go to Karbala, very near to Karbala, you have a city called Musayyab. Within that Musayyab, you have the blessed shrine of Ibrahim and Muhammad, the sons of Muslim ibn Aqil, that were being martyred by Ibn Ziyad, by the tyrants there in Kufa. Likewise, 22nd is the day which involves and which coincides with the martyrdom anniversary of Mitham bin Yahya at-Tammar. So as soon as you go to Masjid al-Kufa, wherever your bus would drop you, generally bus would drop you right in front of the shrine of Mitham at-Tammar. So Mitham bin Yahya, the companion of Ali ibn Abi Talib, who was martyred because of his love and affection for Ali ibn Abi Talib, he was martyred on 22nd of Dhul Hajj. 24th of Dhul Hajj is the day of Mubahala. And 25th is the date, as some of the scholars have said, that is the date that when Ali ibn Abi Talib was in the state of prostration, was in the state of woe, was in the state of ruku, Allah Almighty revealed Ayatul Wilaya in the merit and virtue of Ali ibn Abi Talib. So both 24th and 25th are blessed days for the followers of Muhammad. So it was just a very quick review of what are some of the important days who are coming in. And most importantly, in a few days, you will reconnect yourself with Abu Abdullah alayhi salatu wasalam. So I want all of us to, inshallah, revisit. And inshallah, at least we have 10 days, or not even 10 days, maybe a week left. Maybe take a small booklet, something that, like you would want to go a little bit out of the way. We would be going through and listening to speakers, alhamdulillah. But let's do a little bit of our own research too. Let's see Abu Abdullah, who Abu Abdullah was in the books. Whenever a speaker would tell you, a speaker would have his own taste of Abu Abdullah in it. See? But if you would go through the fundamental sources, you would see Abu Abdullah the way history has mentioned Abu Abdullah. Not necessarily all of it is true, but again, as an unbiased person, it's going to give you different views of how to see what Abu Abdullah has gone through, inshallah. And it's my dearest request that inshallah we take this request very seriously. There are books that I would recommend. Go and see Al-Islam, and you will see different books on martyrdom of Abu Abdullah. One of a very important book that was written by the later scholar is Sayyid Abdul Razak al-Muqarram. He has his whole maktab. And I want all of you to just go and just brush through it, go through the table of contents and see what is the thing that entices you the most. If it is the martyrdom of Ali al-Asghar, go and read what he has written. If it's something that you want to go through the sermons of Abu Abdullah on the day of Ashura, click on it. Very important book. Likewise, you have a book by Sheikh Mufi, Kitab al-Irshad. Very important book. It's there in English. It's there online too. You can go and see the chapter of Imam Hussein, inshallah. A lot of details to follow, inshallah. I wish I could speak more and more on this topic, but yes, very important for us to connect ourselves with Abu Abdullah, but in a way that we can have our own research too. See, if you have your own research, I can guarantee you there will be very less people that can deceive you. People can still deceive, but the chances get lower and lower because you are someone that has gone through some of the sources, right? So inshallah, we have to be at that stage that we go through some of these resources, inshallah. We ask Allah Almighty that inshallah Allah give us the tawfiq that this, when the month of Muharram comes in, we approach the month of Muharram with the love and affection of Abu Abdullah the way it should be, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على خاتم النبيين محمد بن عبد الله اللهم صل على أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب اللهم صل على فاطمة الزهراء اللهم صل على سيدي شباب أهل الجنة الحسن والحسين اللهم صل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي اللهم صل وسلم على القائم المنتظر اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منه الأموات تابع بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات إنك مجيب الدعوات إنك على كل شيء قدير بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون صلوات على محمد وآل محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد